Hey, how's it going guys? Captain Kuba here, and today I'm going to talk about a character I believe will make an appearance in God of War Ragnarok, Loki's wife. Now it's important for me to make the following distinction. In Norse mythology, Loki is known for having two wives. First there's Sigyn, who helped Loki through his period of imprisonment in Asgard by catching the venom from a snake placed above him as punishment for having cut Thor's wife's hair. It is said that Sigyn would hold the bowl above her husband's face in order to protect him from the venom. Once the bowl would fill, she would go to a secure place in order to dump the venom safely. While she was disposing of the venom, Loki would have to endure the effects of the venom falling on his face until his wife returned with an empty bowl. Loki's other wife goes by the name of Anna. Not much is known about her aside from the fact that she's a Jotun and gave birth to Fenrir, Hel, and Jormungandr. So which one of these characters do I believe will make an appearance in the next game? Despite the hints about Atreus being taken to Asgard, like Baldur's attempt when he realized that Atreus was the giant, I still believe Anna is the character Santa Monica will go for when it comes to Atreus' wife. For one thing, Mimir mentions an unbreakable chain created by the dwarves. In Norse mythology, Fenrir was bound by such a chain. Also, the latest God of War book, Lore and Legends, alludes to the existence of Hel. And we already met Jormungandr, meaning all of Loki's kids are accounted for, which necessarily implies that Anna also exists in the God of War universe. Now, some fans may think I'm theorizing about her, but one of the murals in Midgard has already confirmed her existence. Here we see Anna breastfeeding baby Jormungandr while being surrounded by wolves. Now the question of how Atreus and Anna had such weird looking babies remains unanswered, but I highly doubt they were born as a result of traditional intercourse. For one thing, the events of the next game take place only a few years after the events of God of War 4, which would make Atreus a teenager, and let me just say that a sex minigame between Atreus and Anna would simply be too disturbing. Instead, I believe all of his kids will be born as a result of magic between the two Jotuns. And despite what many fans believe, the image in the Jotunheim mural does not represent Atreus giving birth to Jormungandr. I have proved in another video that this is him only reciting the North death rites to this man. Instead, I believe the birth of Loki's kids will happen at some point in the story of the next game. But since all the giants are dead in the current timeline, most likely their birth will happen when Kratos and Atreus eventually go back in time to a moment when Anna was still alive. Now I could end the video here if I wanted to. I showed evidence that Anna exists in the God of War universe, and I theorized the birth of Loki's kids. But I'm gonna be brave and make one final prediction about this character. I believe Anna will die at the hands of Thor. My main piece of evidence is something Jormungandr says to Mimir. Check it out.
He knows the pain of your loss. He will help you.
Now I know it seems like I'm reaching here, but I really believe the game is trying to tell us something when Jormungandr says, "I know the pain of your loss." He could have said something like, "I'm sorry for your loss," or "Your wife was a great warrior," but he says, "I know the pain of your loss," which means he knows what it feels like when a close family member passes away. Now we know Jormungandr comes from the future, so the family member he mourns could be anyone from Atreus or even Kratos, his grandfather. But since these two characters are the protagonists of the series, I really doubt they'll die in the next game. However, his mother is a very likely candidate. We also know that Jormungandr really hates Thor. He hates him so much that he couldn't even stand the sight of his statue. What if the reason he hates him so much is because Thor killed his own mother? We know that Thor loves to kill giants, and it just so happens that he will play a big role in the next game. Not to mention that the theme of revenge goes all the way back to the first game in the series. So the same story arc could apply to Jormungandr as well. If this theory comes true, then it would also give an explanation to Atreus storming the halls of Asgard with an army of giants like he does in Norse mythology. Sound familiar? So what do you guys think? Is it possible Jormungandr was referring to his mother when talking to Kratos? Is it possible Thor killed Anna and that's the reason he hates him so much? Whatever your thoughts are, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to reply as fast as I can. As always, I would like to thank all of my members for their continued support of the channel. People like Kratos Larry, Marvin Thomas, and Bruno Svart, to name a few, really go above and beyond to support the channel, and I can't thank them enough. I would also like to thank all of my loyal subscribers for liking and sharing my videos. I'm almost at 50,000 subscribers, and I couldn't have done it without your help. And with that said, thanks for watching, and remember, go forth in the name of Ragnarok.